Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be diving into all things Pat gel, and I bought all the Pat gels from Amazon, so you don't have to. So we can go through all the Pat gels and see what ones are hits and misses and see how they perform, and then you can get a good idea which one is going to be right for you, because if you're going to be spending your money on some gel products, you want to make sure it's something that you absolutely love. And Amazon is just a quick way to just grab something and have it right at your doorstep. So I figured let's dive into all the things Pat gel that Amazon has to offer. All right, so in no particular order, we're going to start off with Double Rhythm. And a couple things that we're going to be testing out today throughout this whole entire video is we're going to check out the unboxing, the packaging, and then we're going to check out the performance of each Pat gel. So this is going to be a great video for you if you are in the market for some Pat gels. All right, so the first thing in the box, we have a usage guide, and then the kit includes 6 different Pat gels. And this collection right here, this is the pink one. There's 3 different collections that Double Rhythm has to offer. So I grabbed the pink one, and then I did more of like a mauve kind of nude collection. So I really like the packaging. Just starting to look at it here, I do like that it had like that spongy screen. I'm really hoping this is easy to open. You're gonna see along the way, some of these are definitely hard to open. So if it can open just like this, I'm totally okay with that. And this one is very rich in color and vibrant. And then here are all the colors laid out. We have lightest to the darkest, and then the rest of the stuff that is in here, they did include some sponges that you're going to need for your Pat gel application, and then a cotton grabber as well. And you do get quite a bit of sponges in here, and the price point was just right for this. And there also was like a coupon, I believe, when I checked out. So overall, I cannot wait to dive into this one. And then here we go. We have the little cotton balls, and then I've never seen a black cotton, like the little sponge grabber before, so that is unique. And then there is another tool in there, and I don't really know what you use those for. I know you can use it for like cuticles, but maybe that is meant to open the packaging. And if that is so, I could have saved myself a lot of time today. All right, so I'm just trying to pick up one sponge. You might have to go through and just separate all those sponges because they're kind of stuck together from just the packaging. And then we are going to start off with this really just rich pink color. And we're just going to dive into a couple colors here to see how they perform. And then hopefully you can get a good feel on the Double Rhythm Pat gels. So right now I'm just kind of working the product into the sponge, and we're just kind of priming everything. And then I'm just going to go ahead and use this disposable palette right here and just work that product right into the sponge here. And then for all the swatches today, with the bright colors, I am going to use a white swatch stick. And then if we are testing out the white Pat gels, I'm going to use a black swatch stick. So this way you can get a really good feel on the color payoff, because we're not using a clear stick. You're going to get a good visual on the actual color and pigmentation. All right, so for the first nail, I'm going to start right in the middle here, and I'm just playing with this one. This is our first one here. Now for just going into it with the sponge for the first time, we are getting a good color payoff. And for this brand in particular, I'm not noticing any strong chemical scent or anything like that. So that is a plus for this brand right here. I'm noticing that I have a little bit of like splotchiness on here. I don't know if it's from my sponge, but it looks like when I go back over it, it definitely blends and blurs that out perfectly. And then here's what it's looking like with one coat. We do have that, just like, it's still a pop of brightness, but I'm going to go ahead and flash cure that really quick to see if it flash cures as well. And then we are going to go ahead and build up this color just a little bit more, because I do like the color payoff that we're getting, but I feel like we can take this to the next level by building it up a little bit more. So I want to see what it looks like when we go in with that second layer. All right, so I'm really liking the color payoff that we got right off the bat with that second layer. It definitely sealed the deal in for me. And if you want to build it up even more, you could probably get this even like to the ultimate neon pink by just going in with a third layer. Now the formula for the consistency, it is a very thin formula, so you're not really necessarily adding any extra bulk to it. The formula inside the jar is a little bit thicker, so I am noticing that I do need to work it into the sponge a little bit more before I go in with my application. And you need a little bit of more product on the sponge than you think for this formula, just because it is a little bit more on the thicker side per se. Like in the pot, when I'm saying like it's on the thicker side, the actual product in the pot is, but when you are going on top of the nail with the sponge, it is a very, very thin layer. So just keep that in mind when you are working with this. You just need a little bit more product than you think to get that color payoff. So this is one of the lighter colors in the collection, and you can see here we have a perfect kind of baby boomer ombre moment going on here. And the color indicator on the jar is pretty much matching what you see on the nail. So then here are the two colors that we're working with right now from the pink collection. And then let's dive into the other collection from Double Rhythm. This is more of the neutral nudie rose set is what it's listed on Amazon for. So let's pick a couple of these colors and see how they perform compared to the pink set. All right, so we have some really good color payoff when it came to some of these neutrals, and I do want to try the lightest color in the collection as well, just to see how that performs. So let's take a look at the lightest color in the collection, and I'm really liking the whole like spongy kind of screen moment here. I really like the size of the jar. It's just perfect, and the screen is really extra like smushy, so you can really get down into that pot. Sometimes the screens can be really firm, so then you cannot get all that product. So I do really like how bouncy the screen is as well. All right, so now let's go in with the lightest color to kind of see what kind of color payoff we're getting. And I feel like this is a good one because it's not like that starky white. It's just a beautiful kind of like a foamy latte kind of moment here, and I feel like this is a great color just to have in your collection on its own. They do not sell the colors individually, you have to get them as a collection. But look at that, with one coat, that is the color payoff that we have, and I do really like this collection more than the pink one. All right, so now we're moving on to model ones. This is the Rose Garden collection, and did not come in any like particular like fancy little box. It was just all in a little bubble mailer. And this is the Puff Pop Nail Gel is what they are calling their Pat Pat gels. Now I do like the bottle. It's just a clear little just like circular container that we just saw. They also included 2 packs of the sponges, which in my opinion this is not going to be enough sponges to get you through, but it's a good starting point. And then they also gave you some little cuticle protective patches, and then they did give you some French tip stickers as well, and then they gave you a prep kind of guide and all the ingredients paused to You can pause that right here if you're interested in what are the ingredients on there. And then there is also a directional guide as well on how to use these. And we're going to dive into a few colors that Modelones has to offer. I was actually surprised on how many brands actually have like a gel that they consider a pat gel. So it was really fun to just kind of shop around on Amazon and grab a whole bunch of things to show you guys. And I really hope that you find a pat gel that, you know, that sparks your creativity. All right, so let's open this up. So it's a screw cap, and then it looks like it's just an easy foil tear off here, which I'm really hoping that these are easy to get off, because if you know, sometimes these little foily wrappers can be really hard to get off. All right, so it ripped a little bit, but I was actually able to just get this off with little to no effort at all, which the easier for me it is to dive into a product, the better. So this looks like this is going to be the white one from the collection. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove that foil. And then here's the colors all lined up. You can see it's definitely giving you that rose garden effect. So we're going to start off with a pink one first. Now, compared to the last set, the opening is definitely a little bit smaller and the product is way more firmer. So I am definitely pressing a little bit harder than I thought I needed to for this gel in particular. We're just going to go ahead and work that product right into the sponge. And again, I'm going to pick up a little bit more product. And for this one in particular, it is a firmer gel, so you are going to need a little bit more product than you think. And we're just going to go ahead and keep working it into the sponge here. And then let's test it out to see what the light pink looks like. And we're just going to go ahead and just focus on the tip here so you can get a really good idea. And we have a good color payoff starting right off the bat. And then let's see what this looks like with a second coat as well. So I'm going to show you, for the most part, I'm going to show you what it looks like with two coats. Let's just zoom in here so you can get a better visual. And I do like this pink. It's a little bit more of a white base pink. So it's going to be more of like that softer side. And it is a very pigmented pink considering. So let's look at that. Compared to the white, we are getting really good coverage. I do not see any streakiness or patchiness or anything like that. I am not noticing a very strong chemical scent to this brand either. So I'm just looking because I'm not really picking up the right amount of product that I want off the bat. And I think it's because the screen, the circle that we're like diving into is smaller than the last product. And it is such a firm gel. But once you get the product working, and again, I'm working with these gels for the first time. So I'm sure over time, if you keep squishing that product onto the netting on the top of the jar, you're going to have a way better experience. But you do need to work with the product a little bit more, and I'm totally okay with that. But I do really like just the softness and delicate of this pink. So now that we tried a lighter color, I want to try one of the darker colors. So we're going to go in with this beautiful deep red. And I really like the magic of pat gels because you can go as dark as you want and you can go as light as you want. Okay, so we just hit it for the first time here, and look at the color payoff that we're getting with this red. I'm here for it. This was very minimal. It was very quick. Quick color payoff is what I'm here for. I just think the pink one was just a little bit too light. So maybe that's where I was thinking I did not have enough product on it, because the red is not disappointing at all. I do really like this one. It blends out so nicely that this, for me, I do really like this formula. I was a little hesitant at first because of like the firmness and that pink one. But if I would have started out with this red, I'd been like, okay, I'm liking this one. I really like how right now I went back in before curing because I wanted to see if I could build it up without removing the product. Because sometimes if you go in with the pat gel before curing and go back in, you'll remove product. But I'm really liking how this looked with one coat. So we're just going to leave it as is. So now let's just try one more color before we move on to the next one. I wanted to see how the darkest color performs. So let's check it out. right, so that wraps up the Modelones Pat Pat Gels. I do really like the color story in this collection. Up next, we have another one from Amazon. Now, I've been seeing this style of Pat Pat Gel all over my social media, so I grabbed one. The funny thing to me is that the list price says $39.99 on here, which I think is absolutely wild. I don't know who's paying $39.99 for anything, especially this little micro palette, but hey, A for effort on this. On Amazon, this was like $5 or less, so I don't know why there's a list price on here, but anyways. So here's what this looks like. This is one of these smaller ones. The directions are on the back as well. So when you open this, this is like your primary color. So you have your red, yellow, blue, and white. I figured this was a great one just to have in your collection because you can go ahead and just mix these colors and then create your custom colors. But it's always good to have some primaries. And another thing that I was intrigued by is that your reds, your yellows, and your whites are pretty hard to get sometimes. So I really wanted to see those three colors in action as well, especially the white one. So we're just going to go ahead and just pick up some of the colors. Now, compared to the last two Pat Pat Gels that we played with, as you can see, when we're going in with the orange wood stick, the formula is definitely more on that thinner side. So when you are working with this, I picked up a lot of product, and honestly, I do not need that much product on this palette. You do not need that. A little bit of this does go a long way. Now, you don't necessarily need to scoop it out and put it on this little palette like you see here, like I did with the orange stick. You could just go ahead and dab your sponge directly into that as well. So we're going to start off with the red here. Now, what I'm noticing is that we have this nice kind of like splash of watercolor. You know, like when you're playing with watercolors, it's just a very light splash of color until you build it up. That's the vibe that I'm getting with these Pat Pat Gels. It does have a slight scent to it. It's not overpowering or anything like that. It also says on here that it's non-toxic formula. That's all I could find on the website. It didn't like have a list of ingredients or anything like that, but it does say it's non-toxic, but it does have a slight scent to it that has kind of like that chemical scent to it. So just keep that in mind. So I'm going right over it again before I cure because I was very curious to see if I was going to pull away product. But right now it looks like we're just gently building it up, and it is getting gradually darker as we go. But this might be a great one if you're just dabbling into Pat Pat Gels and you just want to, just practice. This might be a good one because you can really work on your gradient effect and blending. All right, so I did cure for a full 30 seconds, and we're just going to go ahead and go right on top of it. And now you can see we are definitely building up that red just a little bit more, but I do really like this so far. It's very different consistency than the last two gels that we worked with. The other ones I felt like were super opaque. This is going to be more of your transparent splash of color. All right, so let's dive into the other three colors because we're going to test all of them today because these are just good staple colors. Now let's go in with the blue to see how this performs, and then I'm very, very curious to find the perfect Pat Pat Gel white. So we're going to try a white here on a black swatch stick in just a few moments. All right, so now for this blue one, I did flash cure for about 10 seconds, and then this happened, so I just wanted to show it to you, that these are probably not the best Pat Pat Gels for a quick flash cure. You're gonna wanna go ahead and do that full, like 60-second cure. So just keep that in mind if you are looking for a Pat Pat Gel that you could just quickly flash cure and then keep building up that color. This one is not gonna work. The other two that we used, I was able to do a quick, like 10-second flash cure and didn't run into any issues. But for this brand in particular, you just want to make sure you're doing a full cure in between each layer to prevent any of that like lifting or flaking that you just saw. right, so overall, I'm definitely impressed with this palette. I do like that white color payoff that we got as well, and I just feel like these are great colors to have in your collection. All right, so the next one that we have is the Beetles Pat Pat Painting Gel. Now, this kit is a little bit different. It has sponges, and then it only comes with one color. I'm really hoping that Beetles advances this collection a little bit and gives us more variety. So for the sponges, we have these really fun rainbow sponges. Now, these sponges alone are probably the best Amazon sponges that you can get for Pat Pat Gel. This one and the MelodySusie sponges are fantastic. And then here's what, and plus they're rainbow, so that's really fun, right? And then here's what the Pat Pat Gel looks like. So again, you only get one, and they offer the Pat Pat Gel in this color and then one other color option, which is a pink. So then the packaging is really different. It's sleek, and it almost looks like you have like a dish sponge that they just cut up and just put it in there with the product. Now, first, when I'm putting this in here, I'm like, this feels like it's sticky and dry. So I was like, I did not have high hopes for this at all. I was like, okay, this is not going to work at all. So I'm really just kind of playing with it. You can see when I'm sticking the sponge in there, it's really sticking and you have to pull it. It's a really weird, like it feels really weird when you are putting that sponge in there. But we have good color payoff right here. So it is working, and I do really like this white. This is a good one. So I'm going to show you a couple different whites throughout this process today, and then I'm going to do side by side so you can see the comparison of each brand and the white. But for a quick swipe over the nail, this is what we're working with over the black tip. And this is really pretty. It's not patchy. You can see here we have a really good, I was surprised that I was not expecting this color payoff to be this good. So I did flash cure it, and I'm not running into any issues. And then we're just going to go ahead and build up this color a little bit more. But I do really like the consistency of this. Do not let the sponge in the center and the stickiness fool you, because we are getting good color payoff. And then for the scent wise, I'm not picking up any strong chemical scent like we did have a slight scent with the last Pat Pat Gel collection. All right, so here's what we're working with 2 coats, and I do really like this one. So I did a flash cure, and I just wanted to see if we could take it to the next level and just kind of see what it looked like with 3 layers, and that's what we're doing here. And the 3 layers obviously is giving us more of that vibrant white, but overall a really quick Pat Pat Gel. You don't have to work too hard for this one to get that good color payoff, and it blends very, very nicely. I don't know if it's a combination of the quality of the sponge and the gel, but I'm loving this one right here. It's a little bit pricier for the one gel. I think it's like $9, but you do get the sponges. But then here's the color comparison. The first one's going to be that one we just tried, and then the Beetles is going to be on the right hand side. But overall, you can see the color difference is definitely more saturated and more opaque for the Beetles. So this one right now is in the running for the best white. All right, so a next one, we have another one of those trendy little palettes. This is from Jodsone, and this one right here it's a 4-in-1 Pat Pat Gel. The ingredients are on the back as well. This one is going to have a little bit more of your primary colors mixed in with some good staple colors. So think of like your Crayola crayon box. This is going to be the one that has all those go-to main colors. Even though this had a red, a white, and the yellow in the blue, I still wanted to grab one of these because I wanted to see the consistency of this one, and I wanted one that had just all the colors in it. I think the smaller one that you saw before I'm going to use for like mixing and creating different colors. All right, so the hardest part now is picking which colors we want to use first. So I definitely want to see how the black performs, and then I do also want to check out the orange and the purple, and then like that maroony color. And then sticking with the same palette consistency, it is on that thinner side. And again, I honestly am scooping up way too much product. After using these, you do not need this much product. Like a little bit goes a long way, so keep that in mind when you are using these. I mean, there's nothing wrong with scooping a lot like this, but again, it is a little bit wasteful. So if you are preserving your product and want to draw the livelihood of your product out, a little bit does go a long way. So for the black right here, I'm impressed. It's not too, it's gray. It's a dark gray, but it's still giving you like that black effect. I just feel like I was not expecting this darkness to be giving right off the bat. So I did a quick flash cure, and we're just going to keep building up this color here just to see what it looks like. But again, it's the same consistency, and I would say it's giving the same kind of color payoff as that last little color palette that we just used with the 4 colors in it. This one also has a very, very slight scent to it. Nothing too overbearing or anything like that. I just always like to let you know if something has like a chemical scent to it, just in case you are sensitive to smells, that you can keep that in mind. It's nothing too overbearing. All right, so let's test out the rest of these colors and see how they perform, but I'm already liking the color payoff that we're getting, and I do really like the consistency of these thinner formulas because I just feel like they're just more buildable, and you can do a little bit more with them and have a little bit more wiggle room when it comes to just perfecting your overall like Aurora ombre and your blending skills. All right, so here are all 4 colors. I'm loving the color payoff, and this is kind of giving spooky Halloween vibes, and I'm totally here for it. But definitely think this palette is worth it for the price, and the color payoff is everything. It's super buildable as well. Up in the running, we have, I'm going to butcher the name, it is Goya, and they have quite a bit of Pat gels listed on their website through Amazon. If you just click on the Goya shop on the Amazon, they have a couple different options. So the first one here, it is California Sunset. So these are going to be just kind of like your rustic kind of colors. Now, I'm telling you, this is a hot mess right here. Their packaging to open these is absolutely horrible. Like, I was ready to throw this away. Like, nothing should be this messy. Good thing I had gloves on. But if you can get through the fact that it's going to be a little bit hard and tough to open, then this might be for you. So I'm going to start with a darker color. I'm only going to open one from this particular set, the California one, because I was so frustrated with opening that. But look at the color payoff. So you got to pick your wins. It's a struggle to open, but for this brown, we are getting really good color payoff. I'm not focusing too much on like the blending aspect of it, especially at the tip of it. But overall, for color payoff, we're working really good here. And I was so frustrated with this one that I could have spent a little bit more time blending it out to make it look even better. But I want to go ahead and flash cured. It does work good with flash curing. So that is a plus. I just flash cured it for a quick like 6 seconds. And I'm just able to go ahead and apply that Pat Pat gel right on top of it. The only downfall from this whole entire thing is that the packaging is such a pain in the A to open. So please change the packaging and these would be absolutely perfection. So this is what the only one we're doing from this one. But now let's move into the beautiful Melted Gelato collection, which I feel like this one is such a good, just beautiful color story, especially for spring. And I do love the play of the name Gelato. So we're going to pick two colors here. This one, I spent a little bit more time to do a cleaner one now that I know that these are a pain. The best thing to do when you're working with something like this, once you get it, spend the time opening up all the colors. Make sure you're wearing gloves and then put it away, because then when you're ready to utilize these, you can just jump right into the colors without having that huge speed bump in the middle of the road, because I'm telling you, there's nothing more annoying than in the middle of your nail set, getting ready to use a product and then having to completely stop because you have to open up jars that are a pain in the butt. So keep that in mind when you're working with this. Now the purple, it's giving, it's very opaque. It's has a white base to it. So you're getting more of like a full coverage effect with these, especially with the pastel ones. I love it with a white base because it makes it super easy to blend out and it's going to give you like that flawless, just beautiful opaque coverage. So I do really like the formula of these. So that's the only thing that's like bothers me, is the packaging all around. All right, so I flash cured it and then we're going to go back in now and hit it. I do like flash curing options. So I just, again, I cured it for like under 6 seconds and then check it out. We have a gorgeous, just melted gelato purple color coming through, which I feel like this color is going to be so handy when it comes into the spring season. I mean, spring's going to be here before you know it. All right, so let's put that down and go into the next color to see how this beautiful, I would say like periwinkle color performs. And again, you can see here, I have way too much product on that palette. A little bit goes a long way with this product as well. This kit also comes with the full set of sponges, and I think there's like 100 in there, and then you do get the sponge grabber as well. And the price point was just right, and there's other colors that they have to offer. Again, I hope someday they change their packaging. All right, so we have good color payoff with that periwinkle color, and I really like how easy these are to blend. They also do not have a chemical scent to them either. All right, so flash cured, and we're going in with that second layer, and then this is really when, for me personally, this color just came completely to life. Very easy. We just dab that sponge right over it with just a few seconds, and we already have gorgeous, gorgeous color payoff. So definitely a hit, just a pain in the A when it comes to packaging. And then here are the three colors together. Absolutely love the formula. Again, beating a dead horse here. Hate the packaging. All right, so up next, what do we have next? We're not even halfway through yet, but we have another name brand one rolling in. We have a Makartt one. This is going to be their white, pink, brown nude set is how it's listed on Amazon. And this is a little bit differently set up. So when you open it, there are little jars here. So there's 6 jars. They also included like a normal kind of makeup blender kind of sponge and a brush in here. So let's just go ahead and pull out all the colors. All right, so it was a little bit of a battle, but still easy to open. It was a little bit messy, but that's okay. Now, the consistency for this one, again, is more on the thinner side as well. I would say it's the same kind of formula and consistency of the ones that were in like the little paint palettes. So we're going in with the pink color here, and I will say I do like the color payoff that we're getting. and they are easy to blend. I'm not experiencing any strong chemical scent or anything like that. Now, when it comes to opening these jars, you could use an e-file and then just go ahead and around the perimeter of it and work your e-file around that, and then the foil will easily come off. The only thing you're risking is getting those tiny dust particles from your e-file into the Pat Pat gel, which then is going to give you like a contamination effect when you're doing your Pat Pat gels, and you're not going to have like this clean finish you see right here. You're going to have some bumpy and lumpiness to it. So to prevent anything foreign from going into the gels and keeping them pure, I'm just going to struggle and remove them, but to each their own. So I do like the color payoff that we got with this already. I have high hopes. It's very pigmented. I did not think it was going to be that pigmented based on the viscosity of these gels. I felt like I was going to have to build it up a little bit more, but I'm not. They're beautiful. So I do want to see how the white one performs, and then I'm going to show you what the white ones look like compared to the other white ones that we did already. But see what I mean? It's like super messy. Again, make sure you're wearing gloves or just practicing safe gel practices when you are doing this. And then all the wrappers that we took off today, I went ahead and just threw that completely away. So I did not have any like uncured gel lingering around anywhere or any of the particles floating in the air. So just keep in mind when you are working with gels, just make sure you're practicing safe gel measures. All right, so for the white one, look at that. This is good. I'm liking the Makartt one. This is good. I really like a good white one. I feel like white's kind of like our indicator for me if the collection is going to be good or not. I based it off of white. I know that sounds horrible, but I'm really liking the color payoff that we got. It's super easy to blend out as well, and you can really get a good gradient effect with this. Even though this one is like super full coverage, I still feel like you can build it up and still get like that beautiful, just like gradient Aurora effect with these. Honestly, this is really easy to work with. I was not expecting Makartt to come in this strong. I was not expecting it for this one. So this is a good one to have. The colors are beautiful. They're more of your neutral side, and you have a little bit of mauves mixed in, but this white is definitely top notch. So we're going to go ahead and flash cure it. I'm going to go over it just for fun. Just for fun. I wanted to do a third layer to see what we're working with here because I was really loving the formula, and it's so quick. I mean, we're just like just in seconds, real time, just dab it on the swatch stick here. And this is the color impact that we're getting. So I do really like it. I was just blending it out a little bit more and just kind of just playing with it, but I do really like this formula. And this white one right here just might be in the top running. I don't know. We're going to have to go ahead and just mash all our whites together here to see what we're working with. All right, so we have Makartt, which is definitely, right now, it's in the running. It's the brightest. Then we have Beetles, and then we have that Gaoy one, which is from that palette. But Makartt is running in strong. That's our winner so far. So let's see if it can hold its ranks. All right. So up next, we're going to go in with Saviland. This is the Cushion Pat Pat Gel. This one grabbed my attention because of the bright color story that we have going on here. We have some neons. We have quite a lengthy, this directional guide was thick and hefty. I was like, wow, this is a lot for a user guide, but this is cram-packed full of everything that you need, and it has different languages in it as well. It's also going to give you some tips and tricks, especially if you're going to use a stencil with your Pat Pat gel. So this might be a handy resource for you if you are just diving into Pat Pat gels. All right, so what we're here for is these beautiful colors. So let's check out these colors. So I'm already liking the color indicator. There's also a box of sponges in there, and then they did include alcohol prep pads, which is kind of random, but that's fine. I will take them. All right, so we have 6 colors in here. We're pulling in a frosted kind of style plastic jar, and it looks like when you open this up, it's going to have like that little netting on top. All right, so let's open all these and see what the colors are before we dive into the swatching. right, so we're going in with the first color. I picked the green one. I just felt like we needed a splash of neon green. And this right here is not disappointing. This collection is going to be great for the summer if we're going to keep on this right track of color payoff. This is already have high hopes for me. Plus, did you see how easy it was to remove the foil from these? That was such a breath of fresh air. I'm totally here for it. So the only thing that I noticed with this one is that you do not want to flash cure these. You do want to give this a full 60-second cure before you go in with that second layer, because it will take off that first layer. Just keep that in mind. But I do love the color payoff that we're getting. I just think this is such a fun color story and just the perfect pop of brightness. I do want to check the yellow. Look at that. We are hitting it in with the screen and we're just getting like full saturation right off the bat. So the gel formula that is in these jars is not as firm as we've been seeing with some of the ones that have this style jar. So this was great. So the yellow right here, again, we're already getting really fast and just good color payoff. And look at that, we're not getting any like areas of patchiness or anything like that. Yellows can be hit or miss. Either yellows are super, super faint, they're super hard to work with, but this one, look at that, we got good color payoff and we also have no patchiness, which is fantastic. I do like how this yellow also carries in that white base, so it's going to make it more of like that beautiful opaque. I went ahead and did a full 60-second cure, and we're just going to build this up just a little bit more. But look at that. If you are in the market for a good yellow, this is like that sunshine summer yellow that your nails are going to be craving, and I'm here for it. I'm loving how easy it is just to build up that color. Again, this is perfection. Now going on into right here, this color combination, I just feel like this is going to give you kind of like that neon like airbrush effect. Overall, so fun. And I do recommend that one. That was super easy to use. All right, so I have another one of these palettes. This is the Aurora Mermaid Chrome Gel, it's called. These kind of have like your pearlness to it. It's gonna kind of has like a, you know, that iridescent kind of an aurora kind of effect. So when I pulled these off, you can see I kind of made a mess here, but I'm okay with that. We're just gonna pick up the blue one here. Now I'm noticing that these little dishes that the gel is in are not sticking. Look at that, I just pulled it everywhere, but they're not stuck to the palette itself. They are loose in there, so just keep that in mind. And then I already got gel, you know, everywhere in that other color. I will clean that up later. But they are a little bit more on the stringier side. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick up this on the sponge here, and it doesn't look like I'm getting that much color payoff, so I just want to pick up a little bit more here. But see how like that color just completely comes right out. If you want to go ahead and make sure those are sticking in there, you could just do a little bit of nail glue, pull that out and do a little bit of nail glue on the bottom and then stick that back in there. I'm sure that would be fine. Just make sure you're keeping this upright. So I am trying it on the white tip first here, and you can see we're getting a little bit of like a chrome pearl effect. This might be cool for a topper. I want to build it up a little bit more, and then I want to try it over the black swatch stick because I feel like the black might just be like everything for me. But once we cured and went with a second layer, you can see we are building this up a little bit more. I'm feeling like a little bit of a mermaid kind of moment ombre here for summer. This would be really fun. If you wanted to, you could also go ahead and do like 2 different colors and just do like a whole blend. I just feel like this is a really awesome palette for like a topper, or if you're doing like a mermaid inspired look. Another thing, these do work well if you are doing a quick flash cure. So we are going over the black now, and then you can definitely see this is coming to life with a black base. So these work really well for color payoff with that black base. Look at that. That's just one coat. This also has a little bit of a chemical kind of scent to it. It's not overbearing, but it's there. It's subtle, but it's nothing like I needed to open my windows or anything like that. So I did a quick flash cure, and then this is when the color just melted my whole soul here. This right here came together perfectly with that second layer over the black. But definitely it's very, you know, versatile. You're going to be able to do a lot of different things with this depending on the look that you're going for. I feel like this would be a fun thing to do, like a gradient ombre all over the nail, and then do a little bit of a stamping plate action with like mermaid scales on top of this. I feel like that would be absolutely so much fun. All right, but overall, this one is a great one, and it's something different. Okay, rolling into another name brand, we have MelodySusie, and this is the gradient painting gels. So opening it up here, I was not knowing that it was gonna look like your old school kind of like watercolor like paint set. And then it also came with sponges and a cotton grabber. but I'm kind of loving this packaging. So let's see what it looks like inside. All right, so we have the individual colors here. We have white. What else do we have? Okay, we have a gorgeous butter yellow, which I do want to try that one. And then we have your pinks. Okay, so this is a soft kind of color palette here. I'm really liking this one. I believe this is the Macaroon one. And then we still have your light, but we still have like that perfect pop of pink. So right away, I'm gravitating towards this yellow again because yellows can be so finicky. So I really am spending some time today showing you some yellows. And then let's dive into a purple as well. All right, so going in with the yellow first, again, a little bit of product is going to get you a long way when it comes to the MelodySusie here. It is on the thinner side. Let's see how this performs. So I'm going right over the white tip. And again, we have good color payoff right off the bat. I thought it was going to be more on the sheer side based on the consistency of this gel, but we have, look at that, just like within seconds, we have a really good, gorgeous colored payoff here. So I have high hopes for this already based on the yellow alone. And I do like the tone of this yellow because it's like your soft buttery. So with that one coat, it was really beautiful and buttery. And then I did do a quick flash cure. And then when you go ahead with your second layer, this is when you get like that beautiful just spring yellow. Again, it is a macaroon collection, so we have like that really beautiful macaroon yellow coming through, but overall really beautiful, super quick to blend. And if you are looking for something quick that's going to give you color payoff, this just might be for you. All right, so let's go in with the purple as well, and I'm hoping we're going to have the same color payoff consistency. Now, MelodySusie has been blowing me away lately with their gels. They have a lot of plant-based formulas, and they are absolutely really cool. I just tried some of their like sweet pea scented gel polishes, and I was completely like blown away by that. So MelodySusie, do not sleep on MelodySusie. She is performing at her highest peak right now, and I'm totally here for everything MelodySusie. All right, so quick, easy. We have beautiful color payoff right here. And again, that just took seconds to create, and they blend really nicely. So this is going to be a good one to do some stenciling because it's very opaque and you don't necessarily need to spend a lot of time blending it out, and you're going to get good coverage. So if you are going to do some stenciling with some Pat gels, this might be a great alternative because we're just getting really good color payoff, and the blendability is there. I mean, you just have to just dab on it and it just blends like a dream. So based on that color payoff and blending, it also does not have a chemical scent to it, which is a plus. This is a good one. So here are the two colors side by side. It's definitely giving me all those spring feels, and I'm totally here for it. But we need to test out this white. This is what's gonna seal in the deal for us. We're gonna test it up and then put it against our other whites that we swatched. So let's go ahead and work some of that white into the sponge. And then we're gonna go ahead, again, we're gonna keep doing the same thing. We're gonna go over a black tip here and just see what this looks like. And okay, we have good color payoff. You can see the areas where I'm hitting it with the sponge, and then it just fades out nicely. And we're going to go ahead and flash cure this, and then I am going to build it up a little bit more here. But I will say we have good color payoff. I just feel like it needs a flash cure, and then it's I lost my sponge here. All right, so let's regroup here. Let's get the sponge back on the little grabber here. So once we flash cure, I feel like this is really when this is going to come to life with the white. And look at that. It's sealing in all those areas and giving us a very smooth finish here with that second layer. Again, flash curing and going over it again just kind of gives that blending just a little bit more of an oomph, and we got good color payoff. So this is what it looks like with two coats here. And then I'm going to go ahead and line it up. So we have MelodySusie right there on the left. We have Beetles, Makartt, and then that Karroy one. I will say, I mean, the MelodySusie one is definitely, I feel like a little bit more on the whiter side. But we have a strong lineup here. I'm really liking this. I will say I think MelodySusie is coming in for me on top, and the Makartt one. And then I would say Beetles and then that Karroy one, if I had to put them in order. But I mean, our white swatching game came strong today, and we found some good gems. I like this. I really like a good white, and I feel like we nailed it for today. All right, going in, we're almost to that finish line. I promise we have a few more. Okay, I think we have 4 more. All right, so this right here, based on packaging, kind of gave me, it took me to a place of like Korean, Japanese gels. It kind of looks like a dupe for that Chris Clay. She does a little bit of Pat gel, and her packaging is super cute with a bear on it. So it kind of took me to that. And then here's what the first one looks like. I ordered 2 different color schemes. So this one is like your pops of brightness, some really good colors in here. So this is the pink one, and then I believe this is color A, and then I did pick up color B, and this one is more of like your darker colors. It's a little bit more of like your muted colors, earthy. So we're gonna go ahead and pick up, so right here, I was like, oh, I was not expecting these to be individually wrapped. I don't know what I was thinking they were gonna be, honestly, but these are individually wrapped. So we're gonna go ahead and pick some colors here and just open them up. They are easy to open, which is a plus, and they're super cute. Look at this like a little adorable square. I'm a sucker for packaging, and the last couple ones that we're gonna be looking at are gonna be sucker for packaging. They're going to be like your cutesy kind of things, but even though they're cute, are they going to perform? And that's what we're here for. Okay, so we're going in with like this dark blue, but it's given a little bit of like a purple base, and I'm here for it. So we have good color payoff right off the bat. I was not expecting it to be this dark. This is dark. This is kind of like we're pulling in a little bit of like a radioactive moment here, and I'm a little taken back by this. I'm a little lost for words. I was not expecting it to be this good of a color payoff for this brand. There was not a lot of reviews on it. It's very new on Amazon, and I believe this was like $19, which compared to the higher end ones, they are about $90 to $115 depending on where you're getting it from. So I did not, when I saw the price point for $20, I was like, that's a fraction of the price of the higher end one. So I really wasn't having high hope. Plus it had cute packaging. But overall, look at that. Flash curing, and we went over it with a second coat, and that is glowing. Now that's radioactive. That is amazing. And we just went over it with a few seconds right there with that second layer, and that's what we got. So that is awesome. It blends out really nicely, and we're getting really crazy coverage. I was not expecting the coverage to be this good for this brand. It does have a slight scent to it, so just keep that in mind when you're working with it. Nothing too crazy, but it does have a scent to it. I would say this is probably one of the gels that have the stronger scent out of all of them that we've been working with. But overall, the color payoff here is everything. So we're going in with that second layer. This pink is gorgeous. It's like a ballerina slipper pink. I'm here for this. I cannot wait to dive into the other colors of this one. I did not have high hopes for this, so I'm surprised. So that is what the two colors that we picked from palette A. And then I do want to pick one of the colors from, we're going to pick two colors from the palette B. So we're going to pick this like gorgeous deep kind of turquoise color, and then we're going to pick one of the lighter colors in the palette. I wanted to try a gray. We've been spending a lot of times on the white one, so I wanted to see a gray and how that performed. So again, we have the same formula consistency through palette B, which is nice, and we're getting that same good coverage. Again, I'm liking this. They have another palette that they just incorporated with this collection. There is now a palette C, which does not have a bow on it. It has like a butterfly with a bow. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab that literally right when I'm done doing this video so I can try palette C. And if you are interested in a part 2 of Pat Pat gels, let me know. I can do another Pat Pat gel and get a whole bunch of them. If there's other brands from Amazon that you didn't see on here that you want to see, let me know, and then I'll grab them, and we can definitely do a part 2 if this is something that you like. Okay, so here's the gray. I really like that it has like a soft taupeness to it, ivory base. Overall, really beautiful. And again, we did this in real time in seconds for this one right here, and the color payoff did not disappoint. So here's what we're working with. If I would have did a second layer over that teal, it would have just like totally gave it that flawless finish. But I wanted to show you what it looks like with one coat compared to the ones that we did two. But this right here from Amazon did not disappoint. It's cute packaging, and it served. It did, and I'm here for it. So let's see what the other one we have. Okay, so to finish off here, we have ones that definitely have that adorable little AI packaging, and I'm a sucker for packaging, and I had these for a while, and I do really like the packaging, and I just wanted to show you how they perform because they're a cream base. They're a little bit more on the thicker side of the creams that we've been working with when you see them like in this palette form, and I just wanted to show you how they perform. So you have a couple different options. If you're into cutesy packaging, this might be one for you. So we have a couple different color palettes here. This is going to be our bright one, and then we have more of like our neutral, rosy, kind of nude color palette as well. So we're going to pick up a bright one, and we're going to pick up that purple from the neutral one, and we're just going to go ahead, and then this is going to be our final 2 swatches, and then I am going to focus on that gold shimmery one here at the end to show you what that one looks like as well. So originally when I showed this on my Amazon haul like a while ago, I showed you what this looked like over a white clear swatch stick. But I'm telling you, these look even better over a white base. So look at that. We have this nice wash of color. Again, it's giving you that watercolor effect. And I'm here for it because these are really buildable. And you can do a lot with these because they are super buildable and you're getting very, very, very thin layers without adding extra bulk to the nail. So then here's what it looks like with a second layer as well. Again, is it the best pat gel that we tried today? No, but if you are just getting into pat gels and just kind of mastering your skill, this might be a one to go to because you can really work on building up the color to how you want it and really just practice your blending. But overall, I do really like this one. Again, not just based off the packaging alone, I just think it's a really fun and just a unique pat gel, and it gives you a different effect. So overall, the takeaway from today is that we tried so many different pat gels and they each gave us something a little bit different. Now with these pat gels, they do have a scent to them as well. So I did a flash cure, and then we're just going to build up this orange just a little bit more. I was kind of curious on what it was going to look like with a second coat, but overall, very beautiful. And let's go ahead now and just kind of show you what they both look like side by side. Very different. Overall, we have a pop of brightness, and then we have a beautiful pop of purple. And the thing in here they gave us in the one that had the bigger palette, they gave us a gold and a silver. So I just wanted to show you how beautiful this gold was because this gold gave, and it was so beautiful. I feel like this would be a really nice accent touch. And overall, I was surprised by this. I was not expecting the gold to look this good. It kind of gives us like a glittery kind of moment. It has a slight glitter base to it, but overall really beautiful. And again, each pat gel that we dove in today just provided something completely different. And we found some good brands and we found some good whites. That was awesome. All right, so everything that we use in today's video can be found in that description box below. I'm gonna go ahead and link everything. Again, if there is more pat gels from Amazon that you wanna see, let me know in that comment below, or if you just wanna see a part 2, we can go ahead and do a part 2. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. It was a little bit long, but we found some hidden gems from Amazon. So I really hope this helps you find something that you can discover something fun and new on Amazon. And honestly, if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much because I had so much fun playing with these pat gels and just sharing some really awesome items with you. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all in the next one.